If you enjoy the content on this channel, please like and subscribe. The Donor Party is a 2023 American comedy film written and directed by Thom Harpe. It stars Malin Akerman, Rob Corddry, Jerry O'Connell, Erinn Hayes, Bria Henderson, and Ryan Hansen. It was released on March 3, 2023 by Vertigo Entertainment to negative reviews from critics. The film centers on Jacqueline, played by Malin Akerman, who after a recent breakup embarks on a quest to fulfill her dream of becoming a mother. Realizing that she cannot achieve her goal without a husband, she concocts a scheme and recruits her loyal friends, Molly and Amandine, to execute a sperm heist from unwitting donors during the birthday party of Molly's husband, Jeff. The prospects include Tim, MJ, Mateo, and Armin. Donor Party was written and directed by Thom Harpe. When casting the film, Harpe wrote Akerman a personal letter asking her to play the lead role. She accepted after reading the script and enlisted Corddry and Hayes. The film reunited Akerman, Corddry, Hayes and Dover, who starred together on Children's Hospital from 2010 to 2016. Now, to say this is a strange film would be an understatement. Malin Akerman had a very strong career at one stage, acting in films like The Watchmen, Heartbreak Kid and Couples Retreat. But to see how her career has sort of fallen away, that she's now reduced to acting in B-grade movies like this, is well quite sad. Rob Corddry is also a very talented comedian, and ironically they decided to use him as the sort of straight man in this piece, which really doesn't fit him well. This is a film that doesn't really know what it wants to be. Either it's supposed to be an overwrought, crude and crass comedy, or a movie about three good friends just trying to help one of their friends fall pregnant. Part of the film seems quite schmaltzy, while another part seems quite raunchy and over the top. It's certainly not a film that made me laugh out loud. And once again, seeing Jerry O'Connell play another sort of loudmouth, over the top, tragically unfunny character is well just the norm for his type of career. In saying all of that though, the film is not a bad film. Look, it's by no means great, the acting is okay, the story is somewhat perplexed and doesn't really know what it wants to put forth, but the film does have some funny moments. It maybe speaks to the midlife crisis, in this case of a woman who desperately now wants to fall pregnant and doesn't need to apologize for her decisions and wait upon men in order to fulfill the life she wants for herself. The subject might come across as somewhat taboo, particularly the way she of course goes about falling pregnant. But I suppose this is almost a reverse sort of type of comedy, where the woman now is taking advantage of the men. Most of the men in this piece are frankly just awful, particularly the characters here of Armin, who I'm not sure if he was supposed to be the good guy and the real romantic interest, albeit that of course he's needy, unsympathetic, and frankly just downright petty, trying to show off to his ex-girlfriend just how well he's moved on when of course he hasn't, or the likes of the character Tim, played here by Jerry O'Connell, who's arrogant, out of touch, and a poor excuse for an artist. Even the more likeable characters, namely Dan Underhood as MJ and Jeff Torres as Mateo, come across as one-dimensional and rather bland. And as I said earlier, using the talents here of Rob Corddry as the straight man is well just a waste from this talented comedian. Akerman is likeable here as Jacqueline, but frankly the whole premise of the film is just downright tawdry and just frankly odd, where she could easily just get a sperm donor or even just adopt a child. All in all, this film was made here to make a gross-out comedy that was trying to portray a woman having a midlife crisis, desperate for a child. The film divulges into an R-rated sex comedy without any of the material to make it more adult. As I said, this film is confused and is really just a B-rated film that will be lost in the sands of time amongst all the mounds of films that have been made over the years. It's a waste of the main cast's talent, and the story, like I said, at times can become somewhat schmaltzy, other times just crass, and other times just frankly odd. You can see this film was made with a very low budget, and was just a project maybe for these actors and writers to pass the time. As I said, there are some funny moments, and the cast try their best with this very weak script, and therefore the film is sort of watchable in a way, but it's not one of those that I'll nearly ever remember. A strange, odd piece of filmmaking, with a premise that could have worked maybe if handled more cleverly, witty, and put forth in a more interesting, well-rounded presentation. But instead, here we get a sort of amateurish, lazy comedy, and a film that arrives far too late to the party. The Donor Party gets a 4 out of 10.